and welcome back to the AMA Room. We're a group dedicated to give you quality Ask Me Anything sessions about interesting people and projects in the blockchain industry. And I'm your host, CryptoPatSu. So, for today's episode, I have here the CEO and founder of Splyt Network, Cyrus. Hi, Cyrus.
Hi, thanks for having me. Really excited to be here.
Us too. We're so excited for this interview. How are you today?
Doing great, enjoying the Southern California sunshine here in Los Angeles. Grateful to be alive and be working on so many cool products with such great people. So it's just another great day in this journey of building out Splyt.
Right. How was your day like today? Are you guys busy?
It's pretty much, crypto never sleeps. Splyt team never sleeps. We stay busy, but it's fun. So I don't consider it busy. It's an experience. Let's put it that way.
Please introduce yourself.
Yeah. So my name is Cyrus. I'm originally from Princeton, New Jersey. I grew up there, played ice hockey. Just my random fact about me. I love hockey. It's my favorite sport. And then I ended up going to University of California, Irvine for my undergrad and grad with the emphasis on quant economics and entrepreneurship via MBA. And then I worked at Deloitte Consulting. I was a e-commerce and digital marketing consultant doing technical implementations for Fortune 500 companies. So I have a lot of large-scale enterprise technology background and how that works, which has helped me tremendously in building Splyt with such a vast opportunity and product that we could build out for society. Fun fact: 2017, Splyt created NFTs on Ropstein's Ethereum testnet blockchain. 1 year before the ERC 721 standard was adopted by the Ethereum Foundation. We just saw NFTs as the future of blockchain. ERC 20 contracts were great. There was a lot of altcoins that came out of the 2017 ICO boom. But I think the real prize was NFTs. And I think today, we're just scratching the surface a little bit. NFTs, in my opinion, are programmable data. And you could program that data to do such great things. And that's beyond the collectible use case, but we could talk more about that later. I know it's a little more about my introduction, but anyway, so we came up with the idea using NFTs to prevent something we call a double sell problem, meaning if each inventory item or product that you're trying to sell online was attached to an NFT, that NFT cannot be sold in two different locations. And this becomes a big problem as a seller because I'm trying to sell my product as fast as possible. So I'm going to list it on, like here in the States, like an Amazon and eBay, my own website, social media, like influencers, I get them to sell my product, right? But what happens if it sells on two places at the same time, right? Then you gotta, extra fees and return costs. You gotta probably give a credit to a buyer. Your reputation gets hurt. So there's a lot of inefficiencies that come with that. So we saw that using NFT technology could solve that. So we started minting that back in 2017, and then that's kind of where we started really building Splyt. And we were fortunate enough to be able to raise enough money in 2018 to survive the bear market, and we kept on building and building and building to where we are now. So just really excited to be here, and just a little bit of my background. I have finance background, tech background, and I actually have a coaching background where I coach young kids in shaping their mind, and I coach enterprises in building decentralized software development teams using something called Agile.
Okay, so I think you've touched up a little bit on how you guys came about to building the Splyt. Just a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, I was just really excited. I had to say it.
I can really feel your energy about Splyt, and that's amazing that you're really passionate about it, and that's really good because it's really important to see how the teams also feel about their project, and just to see this tremendous amount of energies is really refreshing. So I would really love to know what Splyt is all about for everyone who still doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, like I said, Splyt is a e-commerce system that makes a fair and transparent ecosystem where anybody could build a sustainable business online without getting bullied by the big guys, without getting exploited where they go out of business. And we do that using NFT technology to decentralize products and access to products. So anybody could, sell iPhones or any type of products online and collect a bounty or a commission. Best way to describe this is TCP/IP, and I know that's still a little bit of a technical term, but I'll explain it. So TCP/IP is how the internet works. We created a standard of how information gets from my computer to your computer, so we could have the Zoom call. So what TCP/I did for building the internet as we know it today, because imagine how the internet was like 30 years ago. It wasn't the way it was today. And as the TCP/IP protocol, and there's a couple others like UDP and others that the Internet and Engineering Task Force has governed. Splyt is building something we're calling TCP NFTs, right? The transmission control protocol for non-fungible tokens and how the data gets shared between people in an e-commerce transaction that's fair, secure, transparent. And by doing that, we let anybody build a sustainable business online. Even if you have no e-commerce background or power, you will have the ability to even run with the big guys. And as long as you provide good service and you have a good vibe, you'll have the same access to products, shipping, logistics that everybody else has. And you could build a revenue stream for yourself online. And this is really taking away the powers of, let's say, Facebook or Google for advertising, or Amazon or Alibaba for having all the inventory to themselves. We're decentralizing all of those products that anybody has access to it. And if they have access to those products, they could sell those products to their local communities and collect the commission for doing so. And that commission is a lot less than what an Amazon charges. So it's good for the sellers. So if we could kind of move away from having to rely on the Amazon, Googles, and Alibabas for e-commerce, and we could get into a way where we decentralize the products, access to products to sell, creating this global catalog of inventory that anybody could then pull that information of those products, put it on their own website and sell it. You really could build an abundance of e-commerce stores where everybody prospers, right? It's not just the few, it's the majority, right? And there'll still be some that are gonna not make it, but that will be for different reasons. It'll be for their merits, not because the system was rigged.
So does this apply to merchandise that has like multiple stocks, or you can only like build one NFT at a time?
Yeah. So that's a great question, and that's something we thought about ourselves. Not because the technology isn't there, but it's because of gas optimizations. Right? Imagine if I had 1,000 or millions of iPhones. Right? I had 1 million iPhones, and I need to mint 1 million NFTs all at the same time to sell all my. Oh my God, that stresses me out. You think you think Uniswap fees are bad? Wait until you try to mint 1 million NFTs. So the way we solve that, there's a multitude of reasons. There's a multitude of ways that we solve it, but we create two NFT systems. So one NFT is the master NFT that says there is an iPhone, there is quantity 1,000 of them, the price is 1,000 USD, right? And some other sales data that we also put into that master NFT. So when somebody wants to come purchase this iPhone that I have 1,000 in stock, when a purchase is made, it creates an order NFT. And this is all within our eNFT, e-commerce NFT architecture we built. And every time a purchase is made, a new NFT is minted for that iPhone. And then the person disperses it then to offset gas costs. And then we do other things, like we're looking into optimistic rollups. We have sidechain. That's why we're moving on to POLKADOT and their parachain system to offset all of those off the main chain, so we could batch settle a lot of transactions that happen on a state channel or on a side chain back to the main chain to get that finality. And there's mechanisms we could put into place to reduce any type of risk or minimize that risk. while still getting high throughput. So, to answer your question, we have a nested NFT system that, if you have 1,000 items or 1,000,000 items of something, you build one master NFT, and every time a purchase is made, it mints that NFT and sends it to the customer in that fashion.
What chain is Splyt currently on? Is it on Polkadot or no? The main chain.
Polkadot's DApp ecosystem and parachain system isn't live yet. So we are on Ethereum's testnet Ropstein, and then we just launched the ShopX mainnet launch just a few weeks ago. So we are an ERC20 token on Ethereum's mainnet. What we are planning to do is have our mainnet on Ethereum build interoperability with Polkadot through our partnership with Plasm. They have an ability for us to use something called EVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine, to build out our DApp ecosystem on Polkadot. And, I know this is a little bit of, sneak peek into how we're thinking. We have acquired enough DOT for us to be able to bid for a parachain. There's a long road ahead of us to get there. Things that we have doing, like getting into the substrate builder program. We're working really closely with the Parity team to be able to do that. We actually just, built our first substrate palette this past month. So that's really exciting, right? Now we actually have, real code working within the Polkadot ecosystem. And we're going to be doing our first deployment to Rococo, which is Polkadot's testnet chain, this next month. So we have a lot of cool things that we're building. It's still early in the days, but over the next few months, and as Polkadot releases more information, you'll start seeing a lot more news and how we're thinking about migrating over to Polkadot. And eventually we like to have our own parachain. And so we could build something called Wasm WebAssembly, which is one of my favorites. It gives you more flexibility into building your DApp ecosystem, and it's native for Polkadot. And going that route, I feel like will give us the best chance to succeed. And that's not to say we won't look at other chains. We look at everything in the market today. Like 1 year from now, we don't know who's going to be the leader. Like Ethereum 2.0 might come back, and we still want to be able to capitalize on how the Ethereum network has been growing. I do see a split economy where you have multiple chains running and they could optimize for different use cases. So for instance, Ethereum might be better suited for high ticket items like, maybe real estate or whatever, especially with the DeFi movement that's happening on Ethereum. And then on electronics or fashion, other type of things that are like, quickly turned around might be better suited for Polkadot and their parachain system. So we could have that sort of economy where you have different chains optimized for different reasons. And, Splyt's open source nonprofit. So it's not like we're trying to push a narrative on people and say, hey, do it this way. It's, hey, why don't we all learn together as a society? And this tribalism between, hey, ETH is so much better than like Binance Smart Chain or Binance Smart Chain. So, I mean, it's kind of silly, to be honest with you. It's like, hey, they all could coexist. So Binance Smart Chain is another one. It's gotten a lot of traction. So depending on how that develops over its next year, you could see Splyt on Binance Smart Chain as well as Polkadot, as well as Ethereum. And if Avalanche, Dfinity, Cosmos, or any of these other systems come out to prove that they have, a use case for Splyt.
I also want to know, like, would it work like an extension from that you can like install in a certain platform that already has these merchants selling their items?
Wow. Yeah. Great question. And I think that's really our secret sauce. And as more people start to really realize what we're doing and how we're going to market with this and how fast we're going to be able to get majority of society onto the Splyt ecosystem, it's going to be phenomenal. Like it's really game changing the way we're going about it. So just to kind of give you an idea, a lot of crypto projects built really cool things. I mean, and some of them maybe even cooler than Splyt. I have to say Splyt's the coolest, but still, like, like everybody's building really cool things. And I recognize that and I love it. I love watching all the cool projects and really awesome entrepreneurs and founders building cool things. Majority of them ask you, though, to leave how you're operating today and come to this crypto blockchain matrix that's kind of intimidating for most people. right? When you see private keys, wallets, MetaMask, you're lost and you're like, wait, I don't know. Like, I'm sorry, maybe this isn't for me. And some people have made the plunge to do like, yield farming and all that kind of stuff, but that's still a very small percentage of the population. So, and with that, you don't see a lot of big traction for a lot of mainstream applications. Yeah, like DeFi, very small fragment of the world's using it. That's being used, like some NFTs and collectibles. We've seen a little more players and people get into the NFT space for that. But then again, it's like, well, what do you do with these NFTs? Right? Like, how do I use them? And yeah, maybe I could flip them, online, but that's still TBD. And there's a lot of issues with like, hey, if you own an NFT and it's sitting on a centralized server, do you actually own or have access to that digital asset? Or, if that server goes down, like what happens then, right? The way we're going about it is like, hey, let's take Splyt and let's take it to where people are operating today, and let's build a lot of training wheels, right? So people could kind of start getting to ride the blockchain bike or the cryptocurrency bike, but without feeling intimidated. And then over time, we could raise their consciousness and awareness about how crypto works. And in the next 5 to 10 years, then we could be fully Web3, fully cryptocurrency. So Splyt is taking our technology that's Web3 and taking it to legacy Web2 interfaces such as Shopify, WooCommerce, Magento, BigCommerce, any of these e-commerce platforms that exist today. We're building clients, and I could kind of show you one here. I actually have one pulled up. I'll just do a quick little sneak peek. We have our Splyt app in a Shopify store. This is still in the Shopify beta, so it hasn't been released yet. So I could show you kind of, you have a wallet address, you have a Splyt tokens, you could upload your products to the blockchain with a push of a button. So like there's different ways you could interact with Splyt, and it's super simple. And then you could withdraw your funds or whatever. So there is a lot of ways where you can interact with us. So it's just like using what you're accustomed to in Shopify today through an app client that we built, but all of the backend is all Web3 enabled, while the interface is Web2. So people like, your mother, your parents, your grandma won't feel like they're intimidated to use blockchain or cryptocurrencies, but they could get all of those benefits, such as impervious to any type of censorship. So there's no censorship in selling, within the Splyt products. Traceability with the NFT. So you could see as the NFT moves along to other players or your consumers, and you can see what your consumers do with it if they resell it. So you could be like, oh, that's a product we should build more of. Consumers can then have a proof of ownership saying that, yes, I actually bought this iPhone. It's a real authentic iPhone. And you could trace it back to Apple's wallet, for instance. And then all of like the affiliate bounties, all of those values adds that we have could come, but with the comfort of using an interface that people are used to. And not to mention, Shopify has over 1 million merchants, right? So I don't have to go, hey guys, come build on splyt.com, right? It's actually splytcore.org. Come to splytcore.org and build on us, right? That's a lot of work to get everybody to leave Shopify to come to splytcore.org. But if we take splytcore.org and our system to Shopify, then we have access to those 1 million merchants. And it's just an easy as just download the app. And Shopify's first. We'll be coming up with other clients. And like I said, we're open source. So other people could start building their own clients, kind of like how Ethereum started with Geth and their client, and then Parity built their client and others came and built. We're not stopping anybody else who wants to come. So if anybody's listening who wants to build, a client that connects into Splyt, hit me up. I'm all about helping you get what you need and build your own business and your own ecosystem.
That's really cool. Is Splyt going to be involved still in the delivery of the items, or you're just a network?
So that's a great question. And the answer is both, because we'll indirectly be involved in the delivery of the items, but it's not our responsibility. We are just a technology and the protocol. However, we use the power of smart contracts and collateral, meaning that we deposit a little bit of ShopX into these NFTs as a seller. And if the seller is deemed a bad actor,
Okay.
and they don't actually deliver the product to the consumer, they lose their initial deposit stake of ShopX tokens. So we created financial incentives for sellers to be able to follow up on what they promised the buyers. And if they don't, they'll lose a bit of ShopX. Now, a buyer who sees this, it's like, oh, okay, I have confidence, even though I don't know who this person is on this other side of this computer, which selling me this product, but they've deposited some ShopX. So if they don't actually deliver this product to me, they will lose that. So they're most likely not going to be a scammer or fraudulent posting. I could buy with confidence. And as a buyer, when I make a purchase, the money doesn't go to the seller immediately.
Right.
It sits in a smart contract escrow until the item is delivered to me. Once I have it and everything's good, then the funds get released. So we create a fair, secure way to transact online in a peer-to-peer way without having to worry about who the other person is. And over time, when you make more transactions, your reputation will go up. And as reputation goes up, the amount of ShopX tokens you have to stake goes down. So there is this really fair system and able to scale your business and create psychological safety when you're making purchases online. Because the last thing we want to do is purchase something and you're so excited, and to see you didn't get it, that's such a deflating feat. And that's what Splyt does. It lets you know what's in stock in real time. So when you do make a purchase, you can make a purchase with confidence, knowing you're going to get the product you wanted and delivered to you. And we built the behavior modifications using staking at strategic parts of the e-commerce transactions to keep the sellers honest, so buyers could buy with confidence.
Flash Questions is a part of the interview where we get to know Cyrus a little bit more. These questions might be related to blockchain or not. So are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
The last food you ate?
Thai food. Penang curry with tofu and bell peppers. Spicy.
Nice or very spicy?
I love spicy food, so it's very spicy.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Neither. I don't drink caffeine. I don't know how I do it. I stay up all the time in crypto. A lot of meditation, I guess, is what keeps me, pumped and going, working out in the mornings.
Oh, yeah. I love morning workouts. More energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Favorite movie?
So many good ones. Okay, it's a tie between two that I could just watch over and over and over again. It's Old School or The Big Lebowski. I like putting something on. It's chill. It's funny. Puts you in a good mood. I mean, there's a lot of other great movies that's like action packed and everything like that. But sometimes it's intense. Like life, is intense in itself. But I just want to chill. So the comedy of The Big Lebowski and Old School just cuts through the seriousness of life. And I like to be silly as much as possible. So I would have to say it's between those two movies.
Just to know that. Okay. Favorite band?
Again, I have two. My childhood favorite was the Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl, Rock On, Love You Bro. Everlong was one of my favorite songs growing up. And right now, a new band is really coming out. They I need to give more people like this is Parcels. They're the new Beatles. If you like the Beatles, check out Parcels. They're like new age Beatles. I love them too.
Are they like mainstream now?
Yeah, they're becoming a little more mainstream. They're still really new. I love putting Parcels on a Sunday afternoon. And the vibe, it's fun. It's like the Beatles. It's like upbeat and puts you in a good mood, and you're just gonna get some work done on a Sunday afternoon. It's perfect.
Thanks for the recommendation. Go check them out. Okay, cats or dogs?
I'm more of a dog person. I love all the kisses and loves and how they're excited to get all the time.
The first coin you ever bought?
Bitcoin.
Have you sold them, or are you still holding them today?
I don't think so. My first two coins I bought, Bitcoin, then Ether, and then this is going to bring a blast to the past for everybody else. MadeSafe coin. I think that was my first altcoin, I think 2016 or 2017. My favorite coin actually is XMR. I really like the privacy aspect of things, and the fact the transactions per second are pretty fast. So I like what Fluffy Pony has done over there with the XMR community. And I like the fungibility of it. Now we're all talking about non-fungible tokens. The most fungible token, in my opinion, is not Bitcoin. It's Monero. So, it was one of my favorites.
So if you could have a superpower today, what superpower would you like to have?
This one's really easy. For me to be able to touch people and just get them to their inner peace.
Wow.
If people could operate from a place of peace, this world would be so different. Just kind of removing those egos and really just being present and sensing what, life and universe has in front of you, and realizing it's just a playground and anything is possible. And your imagination can run wild when you're coming from a place of peace. That is one of the greatest gifts that, I have been able to, attain in my life. So I would love to give that back to everybody if I had a superpower.
Best TV show or TV series for you?
I mean, I would have said Game of Thrones if it wasn't for the last season. I was one of those. I was like, really? Come on! Like, there were so many different ways to do it. Sopranos was my favorite.
Oh, I've never seen that. Is it good?
It's really good. You could be empathetic towards a bad guy, and to be able to pull that off is a phenomenal feat. And I have to give you something. They're always eating the most delicious Italian food I've ever seen. It just like I get so excited watching it. I'm just like, oh my God, I want to eat that. I want to make that. I've ate so much Italian food because of The Sopranos. There's something about watching people eat. It makes me feel good.
Yeah, it always happens to me too. Whenever I'm watching a TV series, it always makes me want to eat what they're eating. So
right?
I have to watch that too.
Yeah, and the ending was phenomenal. I really liked the ending. It's kind of one of those like Christopher Nolan endings where like, at the end of Inception, did the thing topple or not? Like the Sopranos did something similar, and I love it.
If you could have a holiday en route today, where would you want to go?
I need to go to space in my lifetime. So it'll either be like the ISS, which I'm really sad that NASA's pulling the ISS down, or like the moon or something. Like, I applied for the Mars mission. Like I guess that ship has sailed. I guess I'm not going, at least not yet. But I would love to. I love to go to space. I've been to every continent except for Antarctica. So it would be between Antarctica and space. I love going to new places and trying new things. But space, there's something about space I have to experience in my lifetime.
Going back to Splyt, now I do want to talk about ShopX, the tokens. Why is it named differently than Splyt?
When we built the Splyt ecosystem back, or I started to build the Splyt ecosystem in 2017, the idea was to really come and split away from the old e-commerce system to a new one. Let's split out and go over to this new e-commerce system. While we were building it over the past few years, we realized that we really wanted to get user adoption. That's the most important thing for us, right? Like I'm not all about, let me make 1,000 partnership announcements, which we do have 1,000 lined up, but it's not about making a partnership announcement for the sake of partnership announcements. All the people that I've been working with and all the cool companies, I'm like, look, whatever we come up with, I want to talk to you guys on a weekly basis to biddle, right? That's important to me because we want to build user adoption. And you don't get user adoption if you're out there constantly selling whatever, but you get it by building things and getting people to use it and people to start using a token that's called Splyt. To me, it was like, it doesn't really, like, maybe it made sense to us and what the company name was, but as an everyday user, what do we do? What are we doing with these tokens, right? We're shopping. Right. And it's the next generation of shopping, which is kind of like the X factor of how like shop is going to go forward. So that's how we came up with the token ticker ShopX, to make it more approachable for people and they understand that this is a token used for shopping.
Okay, so can we touch up on ShopX's utilities? As a merchant, do you also need to have those? For the buyers, do they also need to have those?
Yeah, great question. Sellers definitely need ShopX. Buyers is optional, but they get a lot of incentives to hold ShopX because then we could build these, loyalty programs. So the main purpose of ShopX is selling power. The more ShopX I own as a brand or seller, the more items I could list. Because every item that I list requires a little bit of ShopX to be deposited. I get those tokens back, so the whole system is, it's a nonprofit. There isn't a charge to use, besides gas fees. But I just have to deposit a little ShopX. So if I want to sell one thing for $100, I have to put in a few dollars of ShopX. If I want to sell $1 million products, I'm going to have to put in a few thousand ShopX, right? So as I want to sell more, I have to put in more ShopX. So, but there is, only a finite amount of ShopX. And as the GDP, the gross domestic product of the Splyt network, starts going up and more sellers want to come on because they're like, hey, there's more transactions happening, right? So that's why ShopX is really valuable. So if you're a merchant out there looking to like be part of this decentralized e-commerce system, holding ShopX is going to be putting you in the driver's seat to be able to sell through the product. Again, the ShopX token is really meant for building a safe way to transact and for sellers to be able to build a system without needing a third-party centralized system to verify who they are, because that deposit will signal to buyers in a peer-to-peer e-commerce transaction saying that I will fulfill this order because I put my money where my mouth is. And if I'm deemed a bad actor, I lose those ShopX. Now, as a buyer, we haven't released this yet, and I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek. You ready for this? And I kind of, there are some rumors flying around and everything like that, but we're building the big cloud for brands. A brand is going to have their own little like big cloud profile, and people could come in and stake against that brand. And instead of the brand getting like, some tokens or whatever like that, there's a bonding curve that we're building out in all of this. So the earlier people, stake a little less tokens against the brand's big cloud-like profile. But the more you stake, right? And as transactions happen within the brand, the more you earn ShopX tokens, and you get exclusive discounts and rewards within that brand. So that brand could come out and say, hey, anybody who is part of our big cloud brand like profile where you staked against our profile, we will now give you exclusive discounts and rewards. And that's totally up to the brands, right? It's like, we don't tell that. The brand decides what it is. And then the ShopX token holders could stake, and they could earn more ShopX, right? Through more, like as more people buy through that brand, ShopX will accumulate, and we have a whole reward system. Like I said, we haven't announced this yet. It will come out within the next month. So you guys get a little bit of a sneak peek. As a ShopX consumer, I get to have the best of both worlds, right? I'm a VIP loyalty member without actually having to pay anything. Some of these memberships are like $20-$30 a month to get access to some of the new drops. And one of the first partners that we have, he got really excited. Mickey from Mac Park. If you haven't checked them out, it's really cool. Go to themacpark.com. They have hype fashion. I'm talking about like Bear Bricks, Supreme, Palace, Air Jordans, Yeezys. They have all the cool stuff that you want. We're building out one of the first reward programs for the Mac Park. There is something for buyers and sellers alike. And you don't need ShopX to make purchases, right? That's another thing we've thought about. It's like, well, the powers of fiat to crypto on-ramps with partners like SendWire, Plasma Pay, that we're working with right now to let users come in and purchase with fiat.
What are upcoming developments or launches that you're looking at?
Yeah, so we have a couple things just to make interacting with ShopX for token holders easier. So we have a token portal that you're going to be able to look at your ShopX tokens and be able to claim ShopX tokens as they get released over the year. So that should be dropping over the next few weeks. Like I mentioned, we're building a big cloud-like reward system for brands, so ShopX token holders can stake their tokens, earn more ShopX, and get exclusive discounts at participating retailers. Like I said, one of them already, it was cat out of the bag. And then we got other couple big luxury fashion retailers looking to onboard with Maison Du. And Maison Du is one of our first use cases that's building a luxury ecosystem using Splyt and the ShopX token to secure it. So that's also on the horizon. And then obviously, you saw our Splyt Shopify demo. So we're building a Shopify client. We're going to have more clients coming out throughout the rest of the year. And no big surprise, there's also going to be POLKADOT, right? So that's one of our big initiatives this year, is starting to build out our POLKADOT interoperability. And never know. Maybe at the end of the year we'll have our own parachain.
Yeah, I think there's like a subliminal message over there. Just kidding. So any last words to our viewers?
Well, first of all, I love my community. Love y'all. You guys are amazing. We do have a meditation day coming up. You asked me this question a little earlier. We practice mindfulness. Crypto could be crazy. We always like to take a moment and just connect with ourselves. So I'll be going through a breathing exercise, I think later this week. I forgot what it is actually. So follow our Twitter, twitter.com/Splyt Core is our handle, SPLYTCORE. Same with our Telegram channel. And check us out on our website, splytcore.org. And the last words is just, have fun with life. Cryptocurrencies is awesome. All green candles, red candles, that could be a lot of fun. But at the end of the day, go outside, enjoy your life. The pandemic hopefully starting to kind of subdue. Be kind, have fun, and smile.
All right, you really did have fun with an hour chat, and thank you so much for your time, for being here. I really appreciate all the wisdom that I heard and all the information I got about Splyt. Thank you so much.
And thanks for the great questions. Your vibe, you have such a beautiful smile, which makes me smile. So like I had a great time. I'd love to be back anytime. And you know, many thanks to your community, and I hope everybody enjoyed the show just as much as I did. You know, talking.
I'm pretty sure they will enjoy this video, and there's so much interest about Splyt, and this video would really help them, you know, get to know a lot about the network and you. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks.
So that's it for today's episode, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you again, Cyrus and the whole Splyt Network team for this great interview. I do want to invite you now to join their communities on Telegram, and do give them a follow on Twitter for more updates. Speaking of communities, I also want to invite you to join our own Telegram group. We do have chat AMAs ongoing almost every day, so it's a really great group for you to learn all these new projects in the crypto space. And not only you will be learning a lot, but you can also earn with our rewarded questions. And speaking of rewards, we have more rewards in store for you guys, especially for our YouTube viewers. We are giving out $20 for the top 5 share of this video. So what are you waiting for? I know you want to hit that share button. Do share this video and you might win more rewards. And I do want to give a quick shout out to our very loyal AMA roomers at Corridor and at NAFLRF6. So see you guys really soon. Till the next episode. Bye.